This shape that you built right here, what shape is this? Three-dimensional figure, what is this?
Triangular prism. Triangular prism.
Triangular prism, okay? Now, we're going to talk about the difference between prisms and pyramids today. So we'll get into that in a second, but this is definitely a prism. Now, it's a triangular prism. Why?
Because it looks like a pyramid.
Why do we call this a triangular prism?
Because it's a triangle. That's a prism. The base it has the triangle.
There you go. Okay. Because the bases of this are triangles. That's why we call it a triangular prism. Okay? Okay. So, that's what confuses people on these shapes. Okay? Especially like whenever it's like, drawn on a piece of paper. The triangles are the bases if it's sitting like this. Okay? If it's sitting like this, which shapes are the bases? Okay, if it's sitting like this, which shape is the base?
Triangle.
If it's sitting like this, what shape is the base? Triangle. That's the point. It does not matter how it is. It doesn't matter if it's standing on its bases or if it's laying on its side. The triangles are still the bases. Okay? So that's a very important thing because a lot of people get that mixed up. And we're going to talk about right now actually how to tell which side is the bases. All right? So that's the first thing up here at the top of your page. Is the bases for a prism are the two sides that are parallel to each other. The bases for a prism are the two sides that are parallel to each other. So if you look at this triangular prism right here, which two sides are parallel to each other? Is this rectangle and this rectangle parallel to each other? Is this rectangle and this rectangle parallel to each other?
No.
Definitely not. What are the two sides that are parallel to each other? The two triangles, right? This triangle and this triangle are parallel to each other. So that's how you know what the bases of a prism are the two sides that are parallel. Now again, there's definitely exceptions to that. Like we'll look at a hexagonal prism in a second, and some of the rectangles there are parallel to each other, but in general, this is the way to know. It's the two sides that are parallel to each other. That's how to know the bases of a prism. All right, now, next, how can you tell what the bases of a pyramid are? Okay, the base for a pyramid is the side that is not a triangle. Okay, the base of a pyramid is the side that is not a triangle. And of course, there's an exception to that. If you're dealing with a triangular pyramid, then that's not true because in that case, one of the triangles is the base. But again, most of the time, this is going to get you where you need to be. On a pyramid, the base is the side that's not a triangle. Okay, so how do we tell the difference between a prism and a pyramid? So a prism always has two bases, and it has rectangular faces. Two bases, rectangular faces. Okay, a pyramid always has one base, and it has triangular faces. Okay, prism has two bases, rectangular faces. A pyramid has one base, triangular faces. So like the first two here is a good example of what's going on there. So let's do the first one. Is it a prism or a pyramid?
It's a prism.
It's a prism. And the triangles are the bases. So the other three sides are the faces. And notice how this side right here that's 9.4 by 8, what shape is that? It's a rectangle, okay? And so is this one over here. That's a rectangle, and the one on the bottom is a rectangle. So on this one, this prism, notice all the faces are rectangles. On this one is a pyramid. It has one single base, and notice how all the faces are triangles, okay? And that goes to, like a lot of times when I ask people, how can you tell when a pyramid's a pyramid? And they always say it goes, it's pointy at top. And that's right. And the reason it's pointing up top is because that's where all those triangles meet up at. Okay? So a pyramid has one base, triangular faces, where this prism has two bases and all the faces are rectangles. All right. So on this first one, specifically, what is this shape?
Wait, I have a question.
Okay?
So isn't there that other different type of pyramid where it's like a square base at the bottom? Like the Egyptian ones?
Okay, that's just a pyramid, and we're going to look at type of pyramid. Okay, so good. All right, so on this first one, what is this? Okay, triangular prism. This is exactly like what we just cut out and made with our warm-up thing there. Okay, so to triangular prism, so what shapes are the bases of this thing? Are triangles. Okay, the triangle is the base of that figure. Even though it's laying on that rectangle, the triangles are still the bases. So how many bases does this have? It has two bases. Okay, what I'm going to do is, and as we go through here, is we're going to shade in the bases. So I'm going to shade in this base, and I'm going to shade in this base right here. Those are the bases. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is I want to find the area of the base. So when I'm looking for the area of the base, I'm looking for the area of this triangle, not of this rectangle down here.
Is it 40?
Okay, good. And so it's going to be 10 times 8 divided by 2, which, yes, is 40. Right, remember, area of a triangle is just base times height divided by 2, so 10 times 8 divided by 2. Now I want the perimeter of the base, okay? So I'm going to add 9.4, 9.4, and 10. 9.4 plus 9.4 plus 10. What did I give you? Yep, 28.8 inches. Okay, the second one, what shape is this? Okay, good. It is a pentagonal pyramid. It's a pyramid because it has one base and triangular faces. But why do we say it's a pentagonal pyramid?
Because the base is a pentagon?
Because the base is a pentagon, exactly. So how many bases does this shape have? It has one base. Okay, now we're going to assume this is a regular pentagon, and I'm pretty sure these numbers wouldn't work if we actually did the math on the way this would be, but we're just going to go ahead and go with this. Okay, so remember, area of a regular polygon, which that's what this is, it's a regular pentagon. So apothem times perimeter divided by 2. How long is the apothem?
6.
Is 6, okay? So the apothem is 6, so I'm going to go 6 times... Okay, the perimeter. How am I going to find the perimeter of this pentagon?
Add up each side all together to get the perimeter, which is going to be 40.
So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. That's right, or just 8 times 5, which is 40. So we're going to go 6 times 40 divided by 2, apothem times perimeter divided by 2, and what is that?
120.
120. And now for the perimeter... Actually, we already did the perimeter of the base right there. It's 40. Okay. So on this next one, what is this?
It's a rectangular prism.
Okay, good.
Wait, so is it only square inches when it's a pyramid?
No. Oops. Yeah, sorry. I missed that over here. That should have been 40 square inches on that one. Okay? All right. It's a rectangular prism. So, since it's a rectangular prism, what shape is its base? It's a rectangle. So, how many bases does it have?
2.
It has 2 bases. Now, a rectangular prism is a different situation because on a rectangular prism, all of the sides are rectangles, okay? So since all of the sides are rectangles, how are we going to know which side is the base? Okay, exactly. And we only do that with a rectangular prism. We're going to assume, since all of them are rectangles, there's no other way to know unless they tell you some other way. We're going to assume the side that it's resting on is the actual base. Which, like up here, that's not a good assumption. Like on the first one, because that was a triangular prism, it wasn't laying on its base. But we knew what the bases were. They were those triangles. When you just say a rectangular prism, since all of them are rectangles, that's the way we've got to do it, okay? So this is one of the bases. That's the side it's sitting on. And so then this is going to be the other side, you know, the parallel side to it. That's the other base. Okay, so area of the base is just 8 times 7, which is 56 square inches. And then the perimeter is going to be 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 7, which is 30. Okay, this fourth one, what is this? Okay, so this is one is a cylinder, which is not a prism or a pyramid at all, but just needs to be thrown in somewhere. So this is where we're going to do it. Okay, so what shape is the base? Okay, it's a circle. How many bases does it have? It has 2. Okay, I'm going to go in here and shade in these bases.
Is there ever gonna be a time when there's like more than 2 bases?
Not really, not anything we're going to deal with. Okay, so area of the base. The base is a circle, so this should not be here.
What about trapezoid?
It accidentally got. Yeah, if you had a trapezoidal prism like we had that on our assignment yesterday, it still has. It's going to have 2 trapezoids for the bases. Okay, so area of the base is area of a circle, so it's pi r squared, so pi times 10 squared. Say 314.16 square feet. Now the perimeter of the base, perimeter of a circle is what we call circumference. So really, I could say circumference of the base. So circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, so 2 pi times 10. One right here on the back when we get to this in a second. That'll answer your question. It's just a pyramid. It's just a different. Okay, on the back. Okay, so what is this? Okay, so since it's 8 and 8, what shape would you normally say that is? I'm just talking about the base.
A square.
Just the base. It's a square, right? So this is a square pyramid. This is
So depending what the base is, that's what you're going to call it.
Yep, that's exactly right. So what shape is the base for this thing? A square. How many bases does it have? 1. It's a pyramid. It has 1 base. So the area of the base, a square is just length times width or side times side. 8 times 8 is 64 square feet. And then for the perimeter, it's going to be 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8,
32.
which is 32. Okay, number 6, what is this thing?
That looks like a hexagon.
Okay, it's a hexagonal
It's not a pulp. Wait, just
prism.
Never mind.
Hexagonal prism. Okay, so what shape is the base of this thing? The hexagons. Does it have one or two bases? It has two bases. I'm going to go in here and shade in just one base, because if I shaded in both bases, it would turn into a mess, but just so we can keep up with it. That right there is one of the bases. The other hexagon is the other base. So how are we going to find the area of this regular hexagon? Apothem times perimeter divided by 2. So how long is the apothem of this hexagon? It's 24. The apothem is the distance from the center of the shape perpendicular to one of the sides.
Oh, okay.
So that's the apothem right there, which is 24. Okay? So the apothem is 24. The perimeter is going to be 26, but 6 times. Okay? So 26 times 6, which is 156. So the perimeter is 156. So 24 times 156 divided by 2.
1,506.
Is it 1,872? Yes. Okay, and the perimeter, we already did the perimeter of it right there. It's 156. Okay, on these last two, we're not going to work the math out. I just want to do the naming part of it. So on this one, what type of 3D figure is this? Okay, it is a hexagonal pyramid. What shape is the base of it? Hexagon. Does it have one or two bases? It has one base. Okay, on this last one, what is this? Good. It is a triangular prism. This is one that definitely messes people up. Okay, it's basically laying on its side. The triangles are still the bases. Okay, so this right here is one of the bases, and this back here is the other base. Okay, so the triangles are the bases. Obviously, it has two bases.